Today's subject is, what exactly is consciousness? And consciousness is the act of being aware in the present moment. It is the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings at all times, not in the past, not in the future, but in the now. If you take a moment and pause and notice the beauty all around you and the current mental state that you're in, you are being conscious because you're observing yourself in the now moment, and that is being conscious. It's not worrying about the future. It's not stressing about your past or different decisions that you could have made, or hoping that things turn out a certain way in your future and putting yourself into a negative thought cycle by stressing about the future, which ends up manifesting exactly the negative thought that you are stressing about. So instead of constantly worrying about the future, be in the present moment, be conscious of the present moment, notice your surroundings, notice your emotions, and in the present moment realize that you can shift the way you are being and actually make changes for your future in a positive way. Consciousness is also understanding that everything is actually exactly as it should be in each moment that we're living in. What you are experiencing right now is exactly what you are supposed to be experiencing, whether it be for a lesson that you need to learn, or situations that need to just open your eyes to other things, because most of the time, we don't focus so much on what's good and the beauty around us. We're focusing more on the negative aspects and putting focus onto the negative things instead of realizing that we are living in a beautiful world. We have a beautiful life. We have beautiful families. Things aren't as bad as we make them out to be. And then we almost create scenarios in our head. Well, if things feel so good right now, what's going to happen in the future? It's almost like you're expecting something negative to happen, and therefore you're creating that energy. You're putting that energy, transmitting that energy out into the world, and therefore it is what you're attracting back into your world. So it's manifesting for you. Where focus goes, energy flows. So if you are focusing on something negative, that energy is going to that negative thing that you're so worried about, and it's going to draw it back into your life and manifest it into your life. And that's why it's so important to stop worrying about what the future holds, or stop constantly living in the past, and focusing on the now and what you can do right now in this moment to manifest a better future. And then if you're constantly worried about the past, what you're doing is you're living in a cycle. You're constantly attracting the same thing over and over and over again into your life by continuously thinking about the bad thing that happened in your past. And it's just going to continue to manifest until you learn how to break that cycle. Releasing the old paradigms, releasing the old energy, the stagnant energy that we've been holding on to, the limiting beliefs, the fears, the guilt, the pain, the anger, releasing that and shifting our perspective right now, in this moment, in our conscious moment, in the now, so that we can literally pivot and shift into a brighter future, a more fruitful future, a future that is something that we are longing for instead of worrying about. Consciousness is the awareness or perception of something by a person. What is it that you choose to perceive in each moment? Do you find other angles with the way that you perceive each situation you experience in life? So what this is asking is, with different situations and scenarios that arise in your life, do you only see one angle? Do you only see one perception? Or do you kind of try to find another angle, try to find another perception, try to find another way of viewing what you just witnessed or experienced, and try to find a lesson, try to find the positive aspect of what it could do and what it could teach you? That's very, very important. How do you choose to perceive each scenario? Are you being conscious of how you're choosing to perceive it? Are you even thinking about how you're choosing to perceive it? Or are you just perceiving it in a way and you're like, that's it, that's the truth, that's it, there's no other truth around this scenario? So being conscious is very important, that you are conscious of the way you perceive things and situations that arise. Are you reacting or are you responding to these things? Consciousness is the fact of awareness by the mind of itself and the world. It's being aware of your own mind and of the world that you're living in. It is noticing that you are thinking about things, whatever they may be, and realizing that you are creating emotions and beliefs and stories around the way you choose to perceive each instant you are experiencing. So that's exactly what I just said and summarized, basically, that your consciousness is the way you choose to perceive each experience that you have. It is being able to observe your thoughts and understand that it is your thoughts that are creating the reality that you are experiencing in this moment. Our thoughts are creating our emotions. Our emotions are creating our actions, and our actions are creating the experiences that we have. And then, of course, those experiences turn into thoughts again. So it's like a cycle, a never-ending cycle. And we have to learn where to put our stake in that cycle and choose a different reality, basically. Consciousness is realizing that everything is energy and everything is vibrating at a very specific frequency, including ourselves. And the best part of that is that you get to choose what frequency you want to vibrate in and experience. And it's not easy at first, but once you hone in and start understanding how to create the frequency that you want to experience, it will literally shift your life. And consciousness is also an inner knowing. It's going with the flow of life, choosing a perspective in which you choose to see things and how you choose to learn from each circumstance that that you have along your path. It's fully understanding that the frequency that you are resonating in, whether that be fear, anger, pain, shame, guilt, and then it goes into awareness and love and joy and peace and harmony and tranquility. And so there's a frequency scale. The frequency that you're resonating with on that frequency scale is what you're submitting into the atmosphere, your world, your life, and then therefore it's attracting that exact resonance of frequency. Whatever resonates in that frequency that you're submitting is what you're attracting back to you. With practice, you're able to tune your frequency up or down. Where am I at on the frequency scale right now? And what can I do to increase the frequency that I am sitting at right now if you're in a lower vibe? What is the number one thing that you want to experience right now in this moment more than anything else? What type of frequency do you think it resonates at? Is it something that brings you joy? I think we're all craving joy. We're all craving love. We're all craving peace, especially now with everything that's going on in the world. Everything's so chaotic because our systems are being dismantled, and we have to find a new way of being in this now. We have to find a new way of being conscious in this moment on a higher frequency, because if we allow the circumstances of our world right now to shift our frequency on a negative end, then we're letting them win. But a lot of people right now are waking up. A lot of people are waking up to their own consciousness and to their frequency and to their vibration, and they're realizing that they want to change. They don't want to stay stuck in these lower emotions. Most people, the people that want to uplift themselves. There are some people that are choosing to stay in the lower frequency, and they will not go. That lower frequency does not exist in a higher dimension, which is where humanity is going, where we are evolving to in the now. So basically, we choose the frequency, we choose the vibration that we're putting out into the world. We are choosing that, whether you're conscious of it or unconscious of it. And that's, for the longest time, I was unconscious of the thoughts that were going through my mind. I knew what I was thinking, but I was unconscious of the fact that continuing to think about the things that I was thinking about, I was continuing to attract those things into my life. When I really just craved change, I didn't put my focus on the change that I wanted. I put my focus on the things that I hated about my life. And therefore I kept attracting that, because that's where I was putting my focus. That's where I was consciously putting my energy. And when I realized that I was continuing to do that, I stopped. I stopped allowing myself to think, to consciously think about those negative cycles, those thought cycles that kept going in my mind and kept attracting that same type of energy to me. What do you choose to be more conscious of in your life in this moment? Where are you going to choose to shift your energy? There are a million things going on around us all the time. And there are tons of stimuli, tons of triggers, tons of distractions and temptations, and just all this noise constantly in our face. And we literally choose what we want to pay attention to. So what are you paying attention to now in this moment? What are you choosing to focus on? That's the first thing to be aware of and be conscious of. There are things that will pull us out of our good mood or flow, literally stopping us in our tracks. There's triggers all around us. And what we need to do is be aware of those triggers, learn how to pull back and say, okay, you know what? In this moment, I am being triggered. And we can kind of look at it from a bird's eye view and be like, is this going to, if I choose to put so much focus onto this trigger, is it going to assist me moving forward? Is it going to matter in a year from today? Is it something that really deserves my energy and my frequency? Or is it something that I can kind of observe, be aware of what it's trying to do, feel the emotions that it's bringing me, and release? Are we reacting to each scenario that presents itself to us? Or are we becoming aware of it, taking a step back to be conscious of the stimuli, and then responding to it in a conscious manner? I want you to stop for a moment and reflect on your state of being in this very moment. I want you to reflect on your surroundings, the people who are close to you, the room that you're in, the energy or vibe of your home or office or wherever you are currently. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Put your phone as far away from you as you can and sit in silence with yourself and with your thoughts, and see where your thoughts wander off to. That's the first step in becoming conscious, and becoming aware of the present moment and where your thoughts are going. What do you find yourself thinking about? It might be a good idea to grab a journal and just start jotting down some of the thoughts that you're having on a regular basis. Are you stressing about your future? Are you worried about your past? Are you enjoying the moment in the present? That's so important. Is your mind in the future? Is your mind in the past? Or are you living right now in this moment, realizing that this moment is the only thing that actually exists? There's a split happening on Earth right now, and there's a split of higher consciousness thoughts and then three-dimensional thoughts, which is fear, pain, trauma, anger, all the negative emotions that we have been feeling for thousands of years. Humanity, this Earth is such a dark world of turmoil, and we are as a collective, turning that turmoil into light. We are transmuting the negative energy into light. And this is what I'm here for, to help people that may not know exactly how to do that. And please believe I still have tons of work that I am working on. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. And sending love and peace and light your way. Bye, guys.